This is question number 5, I think, from the third probability and stats revision quiz, and this time we are trying to work out a p-value when we've had an observed t-statistic of 2.53. So we're again doing a hypothesis test regarding whether or not our beta value is not equal to 0. And in order to do our p-value test, we've been given a test statistic of 2.53. So again, this is fairly straightforward as long as you recall that a linear regression has a beta value with a t-distribution of n minus 2 degrees of freedom. So hopefully that's starting to become familiar by now. So we've got 20 is our n, so n minus 2 is 18 degrees of freedom, and we're going to go looking for a t-statistic of 2.53. Now this is going to be reasonably tricky in our table, but we'll go have a look at what we see. So this is the t-table that's got plenty of versions of plenty of alpha values along the top. Note this time, unlike the last time I had a look, we've got a one-sided t-table here. There's actually two in the equation sheet. One's one-sided, which is this one. The other one's two-sided. And if you actually go to our 18 degrees of freedom, the 0.05 here that you see here so 18 degrees of freedom, 0.05 alpha is 1.734. If you go look at the other table and go to the equivalent point, you'll see 1.734 in the 18 degrees of freedom and 0.1 alpha. That's because obviously if you've got a certain probability of getting this far away and it's okay to be two-sided, there's two opportunities to be that far away from the center. So the question in this case, we've been given, what was it, 2.53? Let's have a look. So yeah, 2.53. We know that we've got 18 degrees of freedom, and so we're looking for the number 2.53, and you can see that we don't quite have it here, and we're going to get a value somewhere between this point and this point, somewhere between 2.101 and 2.55, so we want 2.53. So it's going to be somewhere in this point between 0.025 and 0.01. So, and that's for a one-sided, so it's actually going to be between double that. So somewhere between 0.05 or 0.02 and 0.05. And I think we already saw the answer was in fact in that range. So it's 0.021. And the only way we're going to get an exact answer is with a program like Excel. So if you aren't sure how to type that into Excel, probably a good idea to work out how to do it at some point, but you're certainly not going to be asked to do that in an exam. So you need to be able to identify the region. So just one more time, to identify the region, we needed that 2.53. So we've got our 18 degrees of freedom. We know we're going to get a value somewhere in here, and it's going to be somewhere between 0.02 and 0.05.